Yeah. In this week's parsha, there's a pasuk of Zeh Kelim Aveyu. This is Hashem, and we're going to make him beautiful. Shal is, how does one make Hashem beautiful? So the Gemara in Shabbos brings a brisa. Zeh Kelim Aveyu. It's not in front of a mitzvahs. You should make Hashem beautiful in mitzvahs. The brisa lists a few examples. The lulav no, Esther no. So we can Akira. In this din of this halacha of Hiddur mitzvah, is it an added mitzvah, a mitzvah by itself, or is it part of every existing mitzvah? Meaning, let's take, for example, the mitzvah of Esrog. So when a person does the mitzvah of Esrog, he's mekayim the mitzvah of Esrog. Do we say, when you take the Esrog, do we say that there's another mitzvah that you can mekayim of Hiddur mitzvah by taking a more beautiful one? Or do we say that no, that there's one mitzvah of Esrog? Now there's two ways you can mekayim that mitzvah of Esrog. Either on level B, which is less Hiddur, or you could do it on a higher level, level A, with more of a Hiddur. So the Brisker Rav wants to bring a raya from the Gemara in Shabbos. We all know that there's a din to do a bris milah on the 8th day. And if the 8th day falls out on Shabbos, the halacha is you do the milah even on Shabbos. So every part of a bris, there's two parts. There's parts of the bris that are ma'akiv, that you need to cut, and the part of the bris that there's an inyat to cut, it's more of a hiddur, but they're not ma'akiv. So the halacha is, as long as someone's still in the middle of doing the milah, he could do even the part that's not ma'akiv. Shaila is why? Because doing a bris milah entails chil Shabbos. So the halacha should be, you should only be allowed to do the part that's ma'akiv. The part that's just a hiddur, you should not be allowed to do. So the Brisker Rav explains that we see from here that Hiddur mitzvah is a part of the actual mitzvah. Meaning, if Hiddur mitzvah would be a mitzvah by itself, so then we would have to say that the only part of milah that you're allowed to be mechal Shabbos for is the actual milah. Any added mitzvahs that come along, you're not being mechal Shabbos. But if you say that Hiddur mitzvah is it becomes a part of the actual mitzvah, so then it's very understandable why you could do that on Shabbos, because the Hiddur mitzvah is now included in the mitzvah of milah, and which is Deicha Shabbos. And the Brisker Rav takes this even further, and he says, in actuality, that is the whole din of Hiddur mitzvah. Meaning that the din of Hiddur mitzvah is to do only, the din of Hiddur mitzvah is that your person is in something which is limited to the Maisa mitzvah. Meaning when a person does a Maisa mitzvah, there's a din, you should do the mitzvah in the best possible way. That is the din of Hiddur mitzvah. Just to make the things that you do the mitzvah with nice, that's not the din of Zeh Kelim Aveyu. Now this leads to a lot of questions. Number one, the Brisker Rav himself points out, from sukkah. There's halacha that a person's supposed to put up nice sukkah to make the sukkah beautiful. Now, what is the mitzvah of sukkah? So the mitzvah of sukkah is yeshiva sukkah, sitting in the sukkah. Now this that you add decorations around your sukkah doesn't change your Maisa Yeshiva Sukkah, this that you're sitting in the Sukkah. So why is this a halacha of how is this included in the halacha of Hiddur Mitzvah? Another question you could ask, a similar question, from Bikurim. The halacha is that a person's supposed to bring the first fruits up to Yerushalayim and put it in a basket and give it to the Kohen. And the Mishnah Bikurim says that there's an Indian of surrounding the basket with nice fruits. And the Rav explains, because it's Hiddur Mitzvah. Now, what's the mitzvah of Bikurim? Giving the fruit over to the Kohen. Now, this that you put nice fruit around the basket didn't change that action. It's the same action. So why, according to the Brisker Rav, is this considered Hiddur Mitzvah? One more question. The Brisker Rav also points this out. Others pointed out that these are the halacha of shofar not, have a nice shofar. Now, shofar not, what's the mitzvah of shofar? The mitzvah of shofar is to hear a kol shofar. What difference does it make how beautiful the shofar is to the mitzvah of shmiyas kol shofar? So some say that the pshat is that the shofar no doesn't mean a nice shofar. It means that you should get a shofar that has a good kol. Okay? But Pashas, the shofar no means you should get a nice shofar. So all this is very shver with the Rav. If you just limit the din Hiddur mitzvah the way the Brisker Rav explains. So this will lead to say that Hiddur mitzvah is not just limited to the Maisa Asiyas mitzvah, but rather Zeh Kelim Aveyu is more of a general halacha, more of a general mitzvah. Meaning that Zeh Kelim Aveyu is, when a person does a mitzvah, he should do it in a way that would bring about the most Kvod Shemayim. And there's many different ways that you could do a mitzvah that could bring about the most Kvod Shemayim. One, let's say, like the Brisker Rav wants to say, it's in the Ma'aseh Asiyas mitzvah, you should do it in the best way possible. Or if you do it in the Ma'aseh mitzvah, you should enhance the things that you're doing the mitzvah with. That all brings about the beauty of Hashem when you're doing it in the way that brings out, shows the most geschmack and your most enthusiasm in doing the mitzvah. And with this, we can understand, look, a few more halachas, another two halachas in Hiddur mitzvah. One, the what?
How are you answering Mila with that?
What do you mean? Mila is still the Izer Indian doing Mila. I'm still not arguing with the Brisker Rav that Hiddur mitzvah goes into the mitzvah, but I'm saying that it's not. The Brisker Rav is adding the kuda that the whole din of Hiddur mitzvah is in the Ma'aseh Asiyas mitzvah. That is not. That's what I'm saying. It's not just that. It's including. It could be a more inclusive halacha. Now with that we could understand shofar. Why is it need to have a nice shofar? Why is it need to have a nice? Why there's an Indian to put up nice sukkah, because that even though you're not actually enhancing your Ma'aseh Yeshiva sukkah, but the walls that you're using the mitzvah for, you made them more beautiful. That's a way of showing more of a chavivus of the mitzvah. And also with I think the last question was bikurim. Bikurim is also, even though you're not enhancing the Ma'aseh mitzvah, but you're showing your chavivus of the mitzvah by adding nice fruit around the basket. And with this kalal, we can understand another two halachas that in Hiddur mitzvah. One, there's a shiloh. Let's say someone buys an esrog that there's a machlokes a poskim about if it's kosher. But we paskin halacha, let's say Shulchan Aruch paskin that it's kosher. But then he finds an esrog that's kosher even according to the shittas that we don't paskin like. Is one supposed to go buy that esrog? So the Bir halacha brings down from Rabbi Megadim that al Hiddur mitzvah, one should go buy that esrog that's yotzi even according to the shittas that we don't paskin like. The question is, where's their Hiddur mitzvah? Where's there any more beautification in the mitzvah by buying this esrog? In another halacha, we find in Pesachim that there's a din not to eat matzah on Erev Pesach. And the Rashi and the Rashbam explain that the reason is because it's over there you should eat matzah's mitzvah l'te'avim mishum Hiddur mitzvah. So right, we have the same question. Where is there any more of a Hiddur mitzvah of eating the matzah with more te'avin? Where there's no the Ma'aseh mitzvah, the beauty of the mitzvah, it wasn't added. So with what we're saying, we could explain that this is all included in Zeh Kelim Aveyu, because Zeh Kelim Aveyu isn't limited dafka to making a thing more beautiful. It's showing a way that you're showing Hashem, I'm trying to make your mitzvahs in the best possible way. Whether, like you said, with more chavivus, with more of a geschmack, when you're more involved physically, or when you're trying to show Hashem that I'm trying to make even the shittas that we don't pass like. You're showing all this could be included in Zeh Kelim Aveyu by showing Hashem that you're trying to do the mitzvah in the best possible way. So with this, perhaps you can understand a very interesting machlokes. The Ramah in Hilchos Sefer Torah in Simukov Mem Zayin brings down that there's a halacha that you're supposed to buy a mantle for Sefer Torah, and al Zeh Kelim Aveyu you should buy a very nice mantle. So the shaila was, let's say you have a piece of material, one side was shiarin, like silk, finer material, and one side was pishtan, a lesser finer material. So which side should you put the finer material on? Should it be towards the side that's the Sefer Torah, or should you put it towards the outside to the place where everyone could see? So the Ramah brings a Mordechai and says that you should put it to the side of the Sefer Torah. And then he quotes the Beis Yosef, the Ramah, that we're not knowing like this. Now what's pshat in this machlokes? So the guy in explaining the shita of the Mordechai, he says, because the Mordechai has a raya from the Beis HaMikdash. That Shlomo HaMelech, when he built the Beis HaMikdash, he put gold in the inside of the heichal. So we see there's an Indian of Hiddur mitzvah even in a place where people don't see. And what's pshat in the Beis Yosef? The guy explains because from there is not a raya. Beis Yosef held that inside the heichal people saw. Occasionally people used to go in, the Kohen Gadol, the workers used to go in sometimes. So from there is not a riot, because as long as people see even sometimes they didn't Hiddur mitzvah held the Beis Yosef. And says they're going to for Karen, I have a raya that there's no din of Hiddur mitzvah in a place that people can't see. What's the raya? He says I have two rayas. One raya is from the halacha of the base from the Beis Hamikdash alone. What's the raya from the Beis Hamikdash? Because he says there were parts in the Beis Hamikdash that were behind doors. The meaning when you open those doors, that the door covered the wall. And when you closed it, there was the people used to walk into the room, they opened the door, and they closed it, and they covered that part of the wall. And when you left the room, you closed it. So that part of the wall was never seen. And it says Shlomo Melech didn't put sid in those parts of the wall. He says, they're going, why not? Why didn't he make it beautiful? He said, must be, there's no din in Hiddur mitzvah in a place people don't see. Another ayah, that he says from the halacha sirtat. Says, when a person writes Kisvei Kodesh, he's supposed to scratch out straight lines, and then write the Kisvei Kodesh, write the Divrei Torah. Why? We're trying to explain, because it's an Indian of Zek Kelim Aveyu, because that makes the Ksiva a nicer Ksav. But the halacha is that by Tefillin, there's no din of Sirtat. Why not? He says because people don't read it. And there's no din of Zek Kelim Aveyu in a place, on a thing that people don't see. So from these two rayas, they're going to pass that there's no din of Hiddur mitzvah in a place that people don't see. So Pashav Shah, we could say we could say what's Shah in this machlekes in the Lamdas. When you come into Mahader a Chetz Shemitzvah, what's the more important part of Mahader Chetz Shemitzvah? Is it be Mahader the Chetz Shemitzvah that's the actual Chetz Mitzvah people don't see, or is it more important to be Mahader a place where people could see and bring out the chavivas from what people see? So with what we're saying, maybe we could add a little more dimension to this. That the Brisker Rav explained that the din of Hiddur mitzvah is in the Maisa Siyas mitzvah. I mean, he said there's no din of Hiddur mitzvah in like just to be Mahader or the Chefza Shem. So he says that he's in of Hiddur mitzvah in the action. So maybe we could derive from that there's a point of Hiddur mitzvah that doesn't have to do with what people see. It has to do with the fact between you and Hashem. That you're showing Hashem how much you want to do the mitzvah. On the other hand, we find that there's an Indian of Hiddur mitzvah that we showed from Bikurim and Sukkah to Mahader the Chetz mitzvah. So from there we could derive that there's an Indian of Hiddur mitzvah to bring out to the world and how beautiful it is to do mitzvahs, like we call it like a Ben Adam L'Chaver type of thing. You should show people how geschmack it is to do mitzvahs. So perhaps maybe we could explain that this. Maybe a pshat in this machlokes between the Mordechai and the Beis Yosef, that the Mordechai held that you should focus more on the part that you on the point that you're trying to show Hashem your beauty of the mitzvah, how much your chavivas is. But the Beis Yosef held no, the ikar part of you should focus on Hiddur mitzvah is to to bring out to the world that how the chavivas and the geschmack and the beauty of doing mitzvahs. So, it's an interesting shayla that I saw that the Poskim handle. Then in Hilchas Chanukah, if you look in the Rishonim, I think it comes from the Ravid, maybe that there's different levels on how levels of a menorah that you can light on. You light the Neres Chanukah on. Right. So I think that could be the number one could be silver, kesef. So the shayla was so the Poskim discussed. Is there any Indian to have a menorah that's pure silver over a menorah that's silver plated? They both look the same. They both look a menorah that looks beautifully silver. So is there an Indian to have a menorah that's pure silver or silver plated? That was a shayla. So I was thinking, I don't know, according to what we're saying, maybe we could explain the two tzadalim over here. If you go that there's an Indian Hiddur mitzvah that you should show you're showing to show Hashem how much you appreciate the mitzvahs and how much you're willing to give up for it. So maybe there's a need to bring out that you should do a mitzvah with the pure silver menorah, because even though nobody can tell the difference, I don't know if that's true, but let's say nobody can tell the difference. But even so, there's a need to show to HaKadosh Baruch Hu how much you're willing to give up and how much you enjoy doing the mitzvah. But if you say it's the main point of Hiddur mitzvah is showing to the world and how beautiful the mitzvah is, so maybe the takavino nafkaminov to be a silver plated menorah over a pure silver menorah. That's what Ketaka saw. I saw one brother, Shmuel, and Shmuel say from Kovetz Halach, he wants to say that there's no difference. Okay, I don't know. I didn't look around too much. In the we could clear another shal. The Indian of nice esrog boxes, like a nice silver esrog box. Is there any Indian of having a nice Hiddur mitzvah to have a nice silver esrog box? So maybe one could say that if the Inyan Hiddur mitzvah is to show the world and how nice the mitzvah is, so maybe, or even other side that it has to do with the, with the show Hashem. Maybe there's a nice silver esrog box. But it's no shaykhis because the whole Inyan Hiddur mitzvah, even if you want to say any of these stadim, it's all being mahadir the mitzvah, the cheftzah sham mitzvah that you're using to do the mitzvah. Yes, why is it the same as silver esrog box? Yeah. What? What are you saying? Bikurim. So I'm not sure. Yeah, what? Yes, Bikurim. It could be the dinner tenner to put it in the basket. So it is then. So we're saying, but in it. But the dinner, but the. The what? Right. So they're saying, but the din of the esrog box is just a way of carrying it around. There's no din of. You could say that there's no din of real Hiddur mitzvah in having a nice esrog box. But there's some that say, that there's a din of covenant mitzvah. There's a din of covenant mitzvah. Actually, the Brisker Rav says the Brisker Rav when he's discussing a lot of his kashas on the shita that we brought out earlier. That is the din of Hiddur mitzvah is only on the sea of the mitzvah, not on the chafetz shal mitzvah to make it nice. So when he discusses this kasha from Sukkah, he wants to say that perhaps that the answer for the mitzvah of Sukkah is that it's it brings out it's the covenant also like this idea of covenant mitzvah or just not the din of zakelim out there. Okay, just a quick recap we came out that the din of the maskanas over here at least that the din zakelim aveu is like a general term to bring out the chavivas mitzvah, and that could include many different ifanims in a way that you could in the ma'is asiyas mitzvah, or whether it's including the bimahad the chivas what you're doing the mitzvah with. Or even if it's just showing that you're extra being enthusiastic in doing the mitzvah, that's also part like eating the matzah mitzvah ti'avin, and also just trying to show Hashem that you're trying to make the mitzvah even according to the most possible sheets, even according to the sheets that we don't pass like. Fine.